Andy, the PlayStation Handheld is closer than we think.
Ooh.
Apparently, asterisks, rumours and leaks. Right, so loads of rumours and leaks have dropped literally like the day after we did the last podcast about PS6, and specifically the bit that interested me was PlayStation Handheld.
Of course.
I'm very excited by the prospect of it. From Moore's Law is Dead, and he was reporting on Kepler L2, whatever the hell it's whatever the hell they're called. The leaker, well-known leaker.
Yeah, the gaming plumber. Mario.
Straight away. So I wanted to round up the information that we have in hand about the PlayStation Handheld for us to pull it apart, kind of look at like how realistic some of this stuff is, how exciting it could be if that is true, and how the price estimation is way, way off the mark.
What, they living in 2017?
I know. I'm going to start with that because the claim is that this device is going to be around $500 retail.
Oh, yeah, that's good, is it? So,
which I find impossible to believe. When Switch 2 with Nintendo, and they're struggling to hit that mark despite selling like gigatons of the device.
Yeah.
And there's talk of them putting the price up, so it will go probably above that mark.
Yes, exactly. I was just about to say it's going to be more than that for the Switch 2. So how they can expect a PS6 handheld to be 500? That's like people still thinking that the Steam machine's going to be 500. It's like that ship sailed a long time ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To be fair, like with Moore's Law is Dead, they put together like the bill of materials from what they could find, from what they could estimate.
What, plastic, rubber,
glass. There's a screen. There's glass.
True,
yeah. So I think firstly take the price for this with a grain of salt. But it gives you an idea of the kind of value point that they're kind of aiming at when we look at the specs. Codenamed Project Cannabis.
Yeah,
Canis.
I saw that and I thought it was cannabis, yeah. I mean, to be fair, they must be smoking a lot of that to come up with that price point. So it makes sense.
I'll read through some of the bits that we know and then we can pick it apart. It's going to be an actual native handheld console, and that's why, firstly, I'm excited. Yeah. None of this PS Portal streaming device thing, which has its merits, but is a bit long in the tooth for it to be called a handheld.
Yes.
Be able to fully run PS5 and PS4 games natively.
Yes, so it's effectively, straight away I'm going to say, it's a PS Portal for the PS6 games. It will be play online or stream from your PS6, and then you'll be able to play locally PS5 or PS4 games, which I think is fine. Like, I'm going to just hold my hands up and say that's fine.
I tend to agree with you. There's also this weird thing as well that will happen. If the PS6 does launch as early as they are claiming, which is end of 2027, and this handheld is supposed to launch alongside it.
Yes.
Does that mean that we have 3 generations that are alive at the same time?
Yeah.
Because PS4 is still pretty much an alive generation as we speak right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I don't think there's any first-party PlayStation games going to it, though, is there? So
very recently, I think they've stopped, as in like in the past few months.
Like last week.
Yeah. I was looking again the other night at what PS5 exclusive titles there are, as in games they haven't also launched on the PS4.
Yeah.
And it was 20 in total.
Oh, it's gone up then, because we did a big thing about this probably a year ago, and there was like 3.
But that did include Wolverine.
Oh, nice.
Which isn't out yet.
No.
And Intergalactic by Naughty Dog, which isn't out yet as well.
True.
But they are going to be PS5 exclusive titles, which is cool.
Yes.
So, but in my mind, PS4 will still be relatively alive at this point. So we are, at very least, going to have PS5 games still being launched in 2027.
Oh, absolutely.
And all of Sony's first-party stuff will still be launched on PS5.
Yes.
So if this can run PS5 games,
yes,
then it's going to be fine,
It's
isn't
pretty
it?
current. Yeah,
Yeah.
So what you're getting at is basically, if you look at the launch of the PS5, PS4 and PS5 were like together for a long time, and it was only really worth upgrading if you really wanted that like PS5 upgrade version or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if they do launch the PS6 at late 27, I'm thinking more 28, but regardless, if they do launch that and PS5 still full underway, you're going to have that bleed over where stuff's cross platform launched. So I suppose you will still be playing technically like PS6 games on this, because they'll be launching side by side. It's just you'll be playing the PS5 version rather than the PS6, but who cares, because it's going to be on a small screen, so you don't need that extra power.
Absolutely.
So it excites me, actually. And then when it eventually goes to PS6 exclusive only and PS5 gets killed off, you'll be able to stream to the thing. I pretty much am certain of it. So that it is exciting, and it kind of excites me a little bit. I wanted to talk about this later, but I'm talking about it now. It excites me a little bit about the fact that they've kind of come out and really pissed me off by saying that they're not doing first party titles to PC anymore. It's going to be multiplayer only. We did a big podcast about it recently. Mm-hmm. So if it means that I don't need to buy a PS6 and I can have a PS6 handheld instead, then that's great, because I will be able to play Wolverine and stuff like that on a cheaper model, because even though I know it's projected 500, but whatever it is, even if it's £1 million, the actual full cost of the big PS6 is going to be double that, isn't it? So it actually excites me. It does excite me.
That's you've touched on a really interesting point I was going to get to later, but actually we're there. It's a lot of the talk from the internal documents is that they are touting this not just to make a stake for the handheld market, which is really expanding rapidly, but also to make a more accessible console for a budget price point.
Yes.
Which I think's accepting slight defeat that main consoles are going to be closer to $1,000, £1,000 than they want to be.
Yes.
And they need to offer that kind of Xbox Series S.
I was going to say that. Yeah, I totally agree.
For all the flaws that the Series S gave that Xbox generation, what the one key advantage it did give is that it was an incredibly cheap way to get into Xbox games at that time.
And it also kind of drives the forward march for the handhelds, because it was the lower powered system. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, and Xbox were very strict. Like, if you're bringing something to Xbox Series X, it must play on Series S2.
Yeah.
And so they had to find a way of cutting corners and making it run on the thing. And now that's just going to start getting replaced with handheld. So like you said, the PS6 handheld is the Series S. Cool.
This kind of march towards handhelds has been inevitable for PlayStation for a while. There's been a lot of rumours. The Portal was kind of almost like testing the ground, and it's the best-selling accessory of all time. It's pretty insane for PlayStation. We see the huge growth for the Switch 2, and then the PC handhelds, which is still kind of... They're still in a little bit of their own playpen, aren't they?
Yes.
PC handhelds. They're still in this kind of niche area. PlayStation would be like a mainstream play for the handheld space. They've been testing it quietly with every user of the PlayStation operating system, which has been really interesting. This isn't in this leak information, but kind of putting together stories now. About, I want to say it's about 3 months ago, they started rolling out low power mode.
Yes.
On PlayStation operating systems. And they were dressing it up as this is a way for you to save energy, to be greener with your PlayStation 5. All of us kind of like nerds with our tinfoil hats on were going, are they testing low wattage configurations here to see if their games can still run?
Yep.
Which is exactly what it... I mean, let's make no bones about it. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Let's see how low the wattage we can get on this, see if the games will still be stable, if we can have lower power builds running.
Yeah.
So it's been coming for a long time. Anyway, more on it. The big thing that really excited me straight away, dockable PlayStation handheld.
Yeah.
This is in this leak.
Yes. So they are like you said, it will be big once they join, because that's like the mainstream coming here. Because Xbox allies, they're not really an Xbox. Like, let's just get that straight. It was a step in the right direction, but this will be an actual PlayStation, just like the PSP and Vita and stuff, in its own sense. So if they go this route and then let it be dockable, again, it's satisfying that Series S market. You know, that
Yes.
lower, the cheaper tiered, the lower powered tiered. You can dock the thing, you can run your PS4, PS5 games, stream your PS6 games, you know, from their cloud service, maybe if you own the PS6 upgrade or whatever it might be. Like, it is the affordable option, but it also is a massive win for us handheld users because it's not just strictly a handheld. They're going to give you that option to dock it with, I imagine, a very expensive proprietary PlayStation branded dock.
100% going to be very expensive.
But the option's there. They're not killing that out. You know, they're not like making sure that they don't have like Thunderbolt USBs or whatever, so you can't like put video through it. But yeah.
The talk is it's going to be USB-C video out. And of course, the dock will increase the clock speeds because of the higher wattage you'll be able to run at.
Yeah, so yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly like how the Switch 2 works, which is it's really cool to see. I want to combine this with the rumours of the upgraded PS Portal that's supposed to be coming this year, which has an OLED 144 hertz, is it? 120 hertz?
Why are they going that high when like no games run at that?
I don't know. You don't stream games at 120 FPS, do you?
No,
So
not from their servers at least. Like,
No.
and even locally, like a PS5, what games is that running at 100? Maybe if you I haven't got a PS5 anymore. I sold it ages ago because they started bringing PlayStation games to PC, and now they've backtracked on that. That's why I'm pissed off with them. So in the Xbox, you can flip it to 1080p mode to make sure that you get like 120 FPS, right? So I assume that the PlayStation 5 has that as well. So say, I don't want 4K, give me 1080p but higher frame rate. Now it makes sense. You know, if you flick your PlayStation over and you're locally streaming on your network, then yes, you would be able to achieve high frame rate to your PlayStation Portal. I don't know about streaming it from their servers, how stable that would be at such a high frame rate. I'd imagine like artifacting and bitrate issues.
bitrate issues with things, you're just getting crushing.
Yeah. But it's exciting.
It's exciting, yeah. Just the OLED part, I think, is exciting with that. If this PlayStation handheld's OLED as well, then I think they win the kind of PR war straight away.
Yeah. That's what everyone wants.
Because everyone wants it.
Yeah, everyone wants OLED.
If it's VRR or not, I don't think people actually fully understand the advantage of it still.
People still don't get
And I'm bored of talking about VRR versus OLED.
Yes.
So bored of it.
Yes.
Fully touchscreen, micro SD card slot, M.2 SSD, all the kind of stuff you kind of have to have today.
Yes.
Haptic feedback, dual mics.
Can we pause there? Did you say micro SD card slot?
Yeah.
Let's see if they've learnt their lesson from the PlayStation Vita. Because they, again, made their own proprietary memory.
Yes, they did. Yes.
So if they actually go micro SD, it's going to be micro SD Express. There's no doubt about that. So we're going to be on Switch 2 territory, and it's going to be expensive.
You do make a really good point, though, don't you? Because Sony, for the longest time, their business is in media, not in hardware. It's in formats. It's in CDs. It's in mini discs.
Mini discs, yeah.
They're the company that make mediums.
Yes.
So, yeah, they always want their own medium where possible.
UMD.
Would they use a micro SD Express?
Bring back the UMD. Bring back the PSP discs. I want that.
Yes, please.
I want to be sat on a bus, go over a bump, and have the game skip. Like, that's what I want. All the movies. Yeah, that's where it's at.
Yeah, I want the Walkman experience, please. Actually, the hardware specs itself, because the rest of it is it's basically going to have the features of a DualSense controller, haptic feedback, and
nice. Do you think it's going to look like a PlayStation Portal, or are they going to try and distinctively like differentiate itself?
The problem with it looking like a Portal, the advantage is, first of all, is the Portal looks really cool. It's a very slick looking device.
It's very thin.
Yeah. And it's very thin because it doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
It's basically just a screen and a battery, isn't it? Let's be honest, and an antenna. If they keep exactly the same format, the screen is going to have to be so thick to get this kind of what we're going to talk about with the hardware specs now, that I don't think it works. And for it to be proper, it'll end up looking a lot like the Xbox Allies.
That's where I was going with it. Yeah. I think the
just
same.
with PlayStation horns instead.
Yes, and I suppose because it's a PS6, they try and adapt or change the controllers every generation.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's going to be quite obviously different if they change the DualSense 2 or whatever it might be at that time. But like you said, it's just going to look like a PlayStation branded Xbox Ally.
Yeah, with symmetrical joysticks instead.
Yes.
Yeah, because you'll have to take up more real estate of the bits in between. You still have to... The thing I disliked about the Xbox Allies as soon as we saw them aesthetically was it had a big old chin on it.
Yeah, the bezels are big.
Yeah, but also like the chin...
the
when
thickness.
you look at like the... Yeah, like...
Yeah.
Big old,
it is
got a big old
I mean,
Johnny Bravo jaw.
I've got one right
There it
here.
is. Look at that chin. There it is.
Look at that. That is fat. Like, it is thick. Like, it's not... Well, it is chunky at the top, but on the bottom, it is... Boof. Like, that's fat.
Like, we're talking about what is going to be a similar architecture inside to those. That, yeah, so size-wise, that's kind of like... Asus haven't made that thick on purpose.
No.
They've tried to make it as thin as possible, keeping weight distribution and heat right.
Yes, and they are they're a PC company, Asus. So they have extreme experience with building laptops and portable high-powered systems. So they know how to balance. Like, they chose the perfect place to put the battery so that it balanced right. They cocked the screen at an angle so that when it's held in your hands, it's a natural viewing angle. Sony, I'd argue, don't have that experience. Like, I suppose you do get Sony laptops and stuff, don't you? Do they still make Vios or whatever they were called? The thing where you saw like Orlando Bloom like using in the like 2000s and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like I've just got celebrities.
Seen one. I've not seen one in the wild for the longest time.
Yeah, I was going to say I might be dating myself here, but
they did make them. Whether they actually made them or not is the other thing.
True, that is true. So
maybe they did.
So,
but they don't have the same experiences like Lenovo or Asus do in laptop manufacturing.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so. No.
And when we start talking about the actual like specs that are rumored here, then you start getting an idea of how big this thing might be as well, which makes it an interesting aesthetic. 4 Zen 6C cores, 8 threads in total. RDNA 5, 12 to 20 compute units.
Yeah, boy.
Clocked up to 2 gigahertz when docked.
Yeah.
RDNA 5 is the actual interesting part there.
That's the exciting bit because we know AMD have come out and said we're sticking with RDNA 3.5 and we're skipping RDNA 4. And like RDNA 3.5 is listed to be up until 2029. So that might give you an indication of what's going on here. But the GPUs and stuff, they are saying that they will launch sooner. It's just the SoCs that are going to sit on RDNA 3.5 until 2029. So there is a chance that they have like a backhanded like agreement with Sony because Sony and AMD are, the
Project Amethyst thing that they do together.
So it would make sense that it would be RDNA 5. It would have to be. It couldn't be RDNA 3.5 because it would be way too out of date.
Well, it would be out of date from day one, wouldn't it? And it would quickly fall behind as well.
Yeah.
24 gig of DDR5X RAM, claiming it could be up to 9,600 megatransfers a second.
Nice.
I mean, if that's the case, it's fast. 24 gig?
Yeah. In the current market, that's worth about 10 grand, isn't it?
I'm really torn, right? Because the advantage of having the headroom you have with the higher configuration is massive, isn't it? 24 gig feels like the bare minimum that you could get away with as we move forward.
I don't know. I actually think this is a good move. So
you think
you're
it's a sweet spot?
You're thinking PC land.
Yeah.
This ain't running Windows.
Of course it's not.
No, this will be running...
all the bloat stripped out.
Yeah, this will be what the Xbox Ally wished it was, where it will actually have PlayStation OS on it, which is nothing. So 24 gig actually sounds amazing because the system probably takes 4 gig. So you got 20 gig for VRAM. So maybe let's just say 8 gig to system, because it's still going to have a CPU part of it.
Yeah.
But the operating system itself will be way under what Windows demands. So to me, like, it sounds like you've got a crap load of RAM to put into VRAM for textures and everything else, for like pop-in issues, like texture
Frame
loading.
pacing.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Just like sidestepping the recent Will It Run video I did on Samsung. It tanked on the OG Ally, which is only 16 gig, tanked on the Xbox Ally, 16 gig. It tanked on the Xbox Ally X with 24 gig of RAM, but 10 gig assigned. But on the Legion Go 2, where I had 16 gig of VRAM assigned to VRAM, it was smooth with no stuttering. So to me, like, it actually sounds like that's a perfect move, purely based on the fact that this will be running PlayStation OS, if you want to call it that, and it will be like really efficient. So I do think that's good.
It's so funny when you start, when you're looking at the specs written as they are, your head's always in PC space with it.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, you're so right. This is super console efficiency. This is like more efficient than Steam OS, because it is just there.
It's
just
a real
to
console, yeah.
Play the games. The bit that I've got a big question mark on is that they've claimed that it's 15 watt TDP.
Yeah.
They obviously mean in handheld mode.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Not when docked. Because what's the 15 watts? I'm just going to say, I'm going to call bullshit on that. I don't think that's high enough for what they're claiming.
Yeah, I'm with you on that front. Even though this is going to be RDNA 5 and we don't know how efficient that is, but 15 watts is Steam Deck. 15 watts is top-end Steam Deck. You think the Xbox Ally, the little one, the white one, tops out at 20 watts. Again, it's totally different, like hardware that's going to be in it. But I'm hoping there's more power headroom there. Maybe it's like it's standardized, like games are designed to run at 15, but maybe if you don't care about your battery life, you can pump it up to 25 or something and get some more frame rate. How much control over all this being a console you'll have is another story. I reckon it'll be very Switch 2-like, where it will just be in the game you'll have performance or quality mode, and then that dictates how it will automatically ramp. And then hopefully once docked, it like kicks it up to 30 watts or something. Yeah.
I question like 15 watts, and they're claiming that you get like 1.6 to 2 gigahertz. Like clock speeds at 15 watts. I don't see that being realistically possible. And I mean, they could do some magic. Like you say, they work really closely with AMD. They could do some magic. And if they do, they unlock a huge amount of magic for everyone else, which is great.
Yeah. I think when you look at...
Just don't think it's realistic.
But that might just be us with our minds in the current affairs of like RDNA 3, when we look at the like Z1 Extreme, for example, which is RDNA 3, and then we look at Z2 Extreme, RDNA 3.5, everyone was like, well, the top-end performance sucks. It's only like less than 10% better. And it's like, yeah, but that's not where it excels. Where it excels is at 17 to 20 watts, like not 35 watts, 17 to 20 watts. And now we're getting like 30% increase in performance. So it's actually like way more efficient, even just going from 3.0 to 3.5. So jumping all the way up to RDNA 5, it might be that we're just not ready yet for that future. Like when we get there, it might be like, wow, look what we can do with 15 watts, because it is still new stuff. All of this is still very new. All the handhelds are only a few years old and stuff. So I'm with you. It doesn't seem possible right now, but maybe in like a couple of years, we might be blown away. Yeah.
I hope so, because it means everything else is super efficient as well by that point.
Yes.
Which is exciting. The performance claims that the pure rasterization is slightly better than the Xbox Series S, is what they're claiming.
Yeah.
But obviously, you're going to be taking full advantage of PSSR 3, I would imagine.
Yes.
But just on pure rasterization at an Xbox Series S level, yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. Xbox Series S came out in what, 2020?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd say that's possible.
I mean, I imagine they wouldn't include that in their marketing material.
I hope so. You could get this, the Series S, or this, which is more powerful. That would be a good step from them. Go back to the like Sega like days of the 90s where they would like directly take shots at Nintendo and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I want that. Come on, PlayStation.
Putting Mario in a bin and stuff.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, they've just got Phil Spencer. They just hire him on Sony. Yeah.
Or they got him tied up.
Yeah, in the background.
Kidnapped Phil Spencer. Yeah. The other comparison that's being made is that it's similar to Switch 2 in terms of performance for native gaming. I think, again, that both of those feel like they're under-egging it slightly and what it should be by that point.
Yeah, I mean, the more slightly ahead of a Series S in rasterization makes sense. Because the like pure rasterization, like no upscaling, nothing, just like balls to the wall. Yeah. And then with PISA on top, PSSR, then it's going to be like leagues ahead. But then coming down and saying that it's going to be on par with Switch 2, that makes it, hang on a minute, because Switch 2 is already underpowered technically, you know, like it was already a dated chip, blah, blah, blah. So if they're coming out, this is PlayStation. They've always been ahead. Look at the PlayStation Portal and the Vita versus what Nintendo were doing. Even the home consoles, they've always been ahead with like power and performance. So to then come down and say, it's basically a Switch 2, it's like, that doesn't sound right. So what is it? Is it more powerful than a Series S, or is it the same as a Switch 2?
And this is exactly it. And the only reason Switch 2 is magic... Well, there's two things. There's DLSS at play.
Yes.
Which obviously they won't have. And there is the fact that it's a closed system and everyone's developing specifically for it.
Yeah.
Is the same going to be true for the PlayStation Handheld? Are Microsoft, the publisher, going to be specifically building for the PlayStation Handheld in the same ways that people build for the Switch 2?
Yeah, I mean, because it's going to just basically be the same architecture, I imagine, as a PS6. I guess Xbox are probably the ones that would, because they've got this whole Series X and S problem, and they've got their own handheld, which they're doing a lot of work for. So they would pretty much be transferable, I'm sure. Like, we got the Xbox Ally X, and it's probably more powerful than that, you know, so they could just throw over whatever they've done on that.
Do you think we start to see a landscape? You know, when you were doing the Will It Run for Darwin's Paradox?
Yes.
And when you were in Steam OS operating system, there was a mode that said Steam Deck mode.
Yes.
But that wasn't there when you were on Windows.
Yeah.
Do you think we quite soon see a world in which there's a default for every game that's handheld mode?
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon so, yeah.
It feels like just a kind of basic set of low settings that you don't need to tinker with, you don't need to min-max.
Yes, lower than low, the game just runs, and then if you want to piss around, you can, like, kind of thing. Yeah.
It feels like the direction of travel it should be that we start to see.
Yes.
But do they aim at the lowest possible configuration for that? As in, like, the common denominator, which would be at this point the Steam Deck, like the lowest kind of performant.
Christ. I hope not.
Yeah.
Because everything's just going to look like a potato. Everything's going to be like 240p. And
that Picasso painting effect.
Yeah. I hope not. I mean, this is like PlayStation, so I think first-party titles hopefully will still have a performance and quality mode, and they'll be really tailored to the power of that device. And then maybe that transfers if PlayStation ever want to push any like multiplayer games or other games onto Switch 2 or Xbox, you know. But yeah, I don't know about third-party companies. I feel like we're getting more and more into the territory of them like accepting these handhelds. There's a game later we'll talk about that's just done just that.
Yeah.
But even with Crimson Desert, they said, you know, runs on Xbox Ally and whatever. And then there's talks that they're actually trying to get it to run on Switch 2.
Yeah.
So,
that story developed even more this week.
Yeah.
They're in active development now.
Oh, there we go. So come 2028, by the time this PS6 handheld leaks, like launches, I mean, I imagine there will be decent support from third-party companies, but I just hope it's, like you said, not aiming at the lowest denominator and then just putting it across the board.
Obviously, we're going to get the next gen PSSR 3 with this. It kind of goes without saying.
Yeah.
What's going to be the PC equivalent of that by the time this comes out?
It was
FSR.
It will either be FSR 4.5.
4.
Yeah,
4.5.
like because RDNA 4 is where FSR 4 came about.
Yeah.
And if they're jumping to RDNA 5, is that going to be FSR 5 or is that going to be FSR 4.5? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how incrementally they're going to step up the FSR. So it is exciting because RDNA 5 should allow full hardware-based upscaling and frame gen and stuff that we're seeing on the current RDNA 4, like 9070 XT, like I've got, or the 9070 and lower. So it is exciting because that's where stuff gets real. You know, when stuff starts getting like handheld-wise, like hardware upscaling, then we're going to start seeing some decent performance.
And that's when you start going back to the kind of low power claims. And you start going, maybe it is feasible.
Yeah.
These lower clock speeds and stuff. Like, maybe it does become feasible. One thing for sure, when Sony is stepping in and doing this work, is that in the wake of it, is that the doors that it opens for the other manufacturers to step in. Like the kind of that hard technology work's done with AMD, and now it starts becoming available in its wake. It's exciting. The big thing there, designed to feel like a proper next-gen portable PlayStation, not a watered-down device. I think that's an impossible claim to make. It will feel like if you've got PS6, it will feel like a watered-down PS6.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I think what they're trying to say is they're gonna try and aim to feel like a PSP or a PS Vita, where it felt like its own thing. Yeah. But again, if it's just playing PS4, PS5, PS6 games, it's just gonna feel like a watered down one. Like it is just a Series S, like equivalent, you know. But it's cool. I really hope they stick with the PlayStation Portal, PlayStation Portable branding. I want PSP back. I want to see the PSP. It just makes so much sense. And it's been so long since the PSP, because that died in like 2010 or whatever. It was like 2005 to 2010. I think PS Vita was 2011, maybe 2012, 13. I can't remember. It's a long time ago now. Most people have forgotten about it unless you're older, you know, especially the newer generations. They won't have a clue what a PSP is. Yeah. So bring back PSP. Don't do an Xbox with the random ass names and the Asus, Republic of Gamers, Xbox, Ally, like X, like whatever. You know, I don't need a title. Like, you know, I don't want a paragraph as the name. I just want something nice and short. PSP.
PlayStation Portable 3. Makes sense.
But they could even drop the number. This could be one.
Or just go back to PSP again.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Because it's been so long. Like, and it's so obviously not a 2005 handheld running on discs. Do you know what I mean? Like they could just start again. PSP, bam.
Yeah. It'd be cool. It will, if you've got a PS6 and you're not into handheld gaming, your criticism of this will be it's a watered down PS6.
Yeah.
That's, you can't avoid that, but you're right in what you're saying. The thing that's exciting with this is that it's beyond being a portable PlayStation, which I'm therefore really excited to see handheld PlayStation. It's also going to be, like we said right at the start, a more accessible entry point into PlayStation for us normal people, perhaps that can't afford $900 for a PS6 when it drops.
Yeah.
It's going to be a way more accessible entry point. And if it can dock and can play on a TV and can still play your PS5 games, then do you know what? I think that'll be enough for most people.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to get one of these. Absolutely. Yeah.
Expected price point, I'll just remind you from the start, $500.
Yeah.
You've put in brackets, lol.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Because right now, like in the current market, there's just no way, like at all. But again, if they're aiming, I know they keep saying like late 27. I don't see that happening. I'm thinking 28, like like earliest. Then maybe the world sorted itself out by then. I mean, it could be worse. Judging by how the world is right now, probably was. But it could be okay.
I mean, there is some talk of things starting to stabilize out, and like the RAM shortages isn't going to be as bad as they thought.
Yeah.
OpenAI have stepped back from buying half the world's supply of memory. Maybe there's more efficiencies that happen in AI. Maybe the bubble bursts entirely on AI as well, and it it chills out a little bit. We don't need another deep fake of Donald Trump. Thanks. Whatever it is you use it for. 90% of the uses I've seen for AI is just crap.
Yeah.
Rubbish, like fake influencers on Instagram and stuff like that. Come on.
Yeah, I don't understand.
And that's why I can't buy RAM. Is that really it?
Yeah, because someone's put up like a random video of like Harry Potter that's ripped or whatever. It's like, what? Yeah.
Right, I want to say welcome back to the 128KU podcast. You're back once again.
Due to lack of popular demand.
And if you're wondering, I am the laughing maniac that does nothing.
It's true. He just sits in his room, waits for Fridays for the podcast. That's it.
I just want to open the door. Is it time to laugh manically again?
He's just calling me every day. Is it podcast yet? Is it podcast yet? I'm like, no, AJ, just go sit in your corner.
Of course, making reference to one of my favourite comments of the week, which made me laugh, which basically said, is the guy with tattoos the only one who does anything, and does the other guy just turn up to the podcast and laugh manically? And I'm like, do you know what? It's a fair criticism.
That's not the case at all, though.
No, it's totally fair.
No, it's not. Like because people don't understand. Like I was raging at you, like in DMs.
You're raging at me.
Yeah, I was raging at you, like fuck's sake, AJ, get off your ass, do some work.
What was funny though was like that guy had also commented on a video from like Saturday, which was like a couple of days before, that I had done, which was also the same day that a podcast had also got published. There was 2 videos that day that I had been in. One was just me. I was like, when you commented on that, and then you turn up in the week,
and then be like, "Where's the other guy?" Yeah,
where's the other guy not doing? Anyway, that's my community rant over with.
It frustrates me. AJ does a lot of work, like building relations with companies, sorting out all the adverts and stuff, which makes us be able to do this. Like
basically, I go to like champagne parties.
He's out there with going to all these like hot tub events, sending me pictures with all the babes. That's why he went to Dubai like a few weeks back. Yeah, he was just cruising in a Lambo, and
me and Andrew Tate.
That's it. Yeah. With Louis Theroux, they cut you out though. You paid him enough to like cut you out of that. But yeah, so it does. Yeah, it annoys me when I see stuff like that.
It's fine. It is what it is. Okay. Next topic of the day. And now I've chilled out. Game I've been looking forward to for the longest time. There's actually 2 that are launching this week. I think both this week.
Yeah.
That I've been really looking forward to for ages.
Oh, there's actually 3.
3 games this week.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 that I'm particularly looking forward to, and I know the third one you're particularly looking forward to as well.
Yes.
First one though, Mouse PI for hire.
Oh yeah.
They've released their console specifications.
They have.
And in a kind of continuing trend is what's happening now, they've included the key handhelds in their console specifications.
They have, yeah.
I think it's really cool to see.
I think it's excellent. I really do.
Yeah.
And the fact that the old pensioner's still listed at the bottom as well.
I know, the senior statesman.
Yeah.
The Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Check it out. Steam Deck will be able to play this game at 800p at 40 FPS.
Nice.
Do you know what?
That's great.
If that's for real and that's stable, you'll have a great time.
Yes. Yeah, it'll be brilliant at 40 FPS, yeah.
Totally
I wish it was 45 just for the Steam Deck OLED users, because that's got a 90 hertz panel, and 45 FPS being half the refresh rate would have been like perfect, but whatever.
I mean, they could have dropped the resolution to 720 and done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows a slight lack of understanding. But anyway, I think if you've got a Steam Deck now, you're probably an OLED.
Yes.
I think the ones that have held onto it is probably for the OLED.
Yes.
But yeah, it's cool to see these handhelds there. Switch 2s, obviously, this is a day one release for Switch 2 as well.
Yep.
Xbox Ally is listed. Xbox Ally X is listed.
Nice.
Xbox Ally 720 at 60 FPS.
Yeah, that's acceptable.
So what's weird there is it's clearly almost identically in line with the Steam Deck because we know it is.
Yes.
Why they felt the need to differentiate. It is what it is.
Yeah, well,
and
the
we
Xbox
really gonna
Ally,
get 60 FPS.
Yeah, the Xbox Ally is more powerful than the Steam Deck, but just only slightly, and it is running at slightly lower native resolution at 720. You know, they've kept it 800p for the Steam Deck for the 16:10 aspect ratio, so that you're not black barring. So that makes sense. A little bit more to render there, so the frame rate's a little bit less. Xbox Ally 16:9 screen, 720p. They haven't said whether this is upscaling or not, because I imagine it will be.
Yeah, when you look at the Ally X,
yeah,
I think there's things at play here.
Yeah, 900p. Yeah,
900p and 120 FPS.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, the numbers will say that.
Yeah. Is this with FSR and frame gen on?
Yes. I tend to think so, because when you flick over to like the Switch 2, I think we start to get some more kind of indicative performance there. Switch 2 handheld quality mode 1260 at 30 FPS, 900 at 60 FPS for performance mode.
Yeah. I mean, why is it 1260p at 30 FPS when it's a 1080p screen?
Yeah, I don't understand.
So why are they like up-resing it? Like what?
To downsample?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, then drop it to 1080p and do 40 FPS. Like, what? Yeah. Why is it? That's got to be a typo. Someone's keyboard bashed 4K, which is 2160, and just jumbled the numbers up and put 1260p. And I think that's meant to say 1080p. But then equally 900p on the Switch 2 in performance mode for 60 FPS. Okay. Like, that's basically 1080p. Like, it's only just a small step down. So
if it said 720, I would understand it.
Yeah. Like, it's just it just seems a bit weird. The thing throwing me out is Switch 2 handheld mode at 1260p.
Yeah, like, I'm totally with you. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I only just clocked that as we're looking at it now. Weird.
And I guess this is kind of goes to a bigger thing as we start to see more and more games specifying for handhelds.
Yes.
We're going to see more and more mistakes, I think, because there's so many different variants. Maybe it's just a lot to keep on top of.
Yes.
Anyway, the fact that it's there is cool. It's a game that I'm looking forward to playing.
Me too.
I'm going to get it on Switch 2.
Nice.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just going to get it on Switch 2.
So you can run it at 1260p handheld.
I want to see what 1260p looks like on a 1080p monitor.
Yeah. Up-res. Downsampled.
I want to see some downsampling.
Yes.
That'd be great. Also coming this week, though, we've got... Is it Replaced is coming on the 18th, I think?
Before this one.
Is it before?
Yeah, so Replaced is on the 14th. Mouse PI
14th,
for Hire is 16th.
Yeah.
And then on the 18th, we've got Pragmata.
So 3 big games in 6 days.
Yeah.
Can you complete them all?
No way. Yeah, no.
No, definitely not. But yeah, so it's a big week for games. That's really exciting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
There's something coming from Steam, which I'm actually quite low-key happy about, which I think is quite cool. And it goes in line with what we were saying about more and more people specifying for different devices.
Yeah.
The Steam is working on a system to provide like estimated frame rate data for a game based on the hardware you're using.
Oh, yeah.
Expanding on like its compatible thing.
Yes.
But beyond that, going, how compatible is it with your hardware configuration?
Yeah.
What performance could you expect?
Yes, so this is going to be like really good if you've got a Steam Deck and a Steam machine,
Yes.
that kind of thing, it's going to go, okay, you're on a Steam machine, you're going to expect this, man. It's kind of like what Xbox have done, where you click on it and it says, will play really well or not very well or whatever, and that will give you like a, give you like an indication of the frame rate. And then it also sets them up for like Steam Deck 2 and stuff like that if they've got this system in place.
Yeah, it's cool to see. I think it's probably a necessary evil for them that they have to do this, as you say, as their hardware library starts to really expand.
Yes,
they're going to need to, and when they step into the TV space with the Steam machine, the hope is they invite more people into the Steam ecosystem.
Yeah.
So they need to make it easier and easier, because like the legacy of Steam is that it's for like the hyper enthusiasts. It's for the PC gamers who know what they're doing, know how to min max and like get the best out of games regardless. As they go into more and more of these console like devices, they need to make it more and more layman friendly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think this, like you said, it's an exciting thing, because it just makes it easier for people that aren't as into it. You know, pick up and play. The easier it gets to that, the better, and the more adopted it will be as well.
Yeah, totally. So it's a cool thing to see. Switch 2 land.
Yeah.
Famitsu, the kind of people that do like the financial stuff for games over in Japan, confirmed that Switch 2 has already sold 5 million units in Japan alone.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing. I know, it's pretty nuts. It continues to sell about 40 to 50,000 units every week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts.
It's insane.
And that's just in Japan, isn't it?
Just in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy to see. But what's even crazier to see is Elden Ring.
Oh, they've actually finally said, because this has been like ghost town for ages.
There is an Amazon listing, okay? Amazon US listing.
Nice.
So, it's not been published on the Nintendo USA site, but it has been published on Amazon.com from Bandai Namco.
Yes.
In the US, it is $80.
Wow.
Yes. Now, if you open it from the UK, it will show you the UK price, but from the Amazon.com site, so it won't be the same.
Yeah.
So an $80 game. Obviously, it does include the DLC, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's the full version.
Yes.
It's the tarnished edition. But $80, and it's a game key card. I know how people feel about that already.
Yeah.
The other one that's weird about it is, I don't know if I slept on this, but when did you think it was being released?
They didn't say.
Yeah.
Because it kept getting delayed and stuff.
Kept getting delayed.
Yeah.
Well, the Amazon listing has it. It will be released on December the 31st, 2026, and you'll get it in January 2027.
That late? Another year? That's ridiculous. I think that's a placeholder, because we're waiting on a Nintendo Direct. Like, there's not really any games we're waiting on from Nintendo for the Switch 2. So they need to pull their finger out any minute now to do a Direct. I mean, it's the right time. It's April. It's the time.
This is the one that I think has disappointed the most people, because it was such a shock to see it. Bear in mind, it was shown in the Switch 2 announcement.
Yeah.
So when they officially announced the Switch 2, they showed it running on Switch 2. We've not seen anything. It has been available to play it was Gamescom last year.
Mm-hmm. And it was rubbish.
It was awful, and they wouldn't allow filming in the booth. It was a private booth, which is always a bit weird.
Yes.
But Nintendo do that sometimes when it's an over 18 game.
Yeah.
They'll make it like private.
Yeah.
Which makes it feel like you're going into one of those naughty cinemas.
Yeah. That's what it was.
In the old video stores, like the adult section at the back.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. What's in there?
It's a passport machine. That's what that was.
All right, okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was like the scene in The Lion King. It's like, what's that dark space? You must never go there.
Yeah, that's it. Until you're over 18. Yeah.
But yeah, inside the private booth, they wouldn't allow anyone to film the game running. So you had like an attendant with you and you weren't allowed to film anything. And that reportedly was because it was running so badly.
Yes.
The people that covered it afterwards was like, it was run really awfully. But I took that, I took that with like a little pinch, because I also heard that Star Wars Outlaws was a train wreck when people were playing it.
That's true.
To the point where I cancelled my pre-order of it.
What a shame, yeah.
And then at launch, it actually turned out to be working really well. So great. I thought the same was going to be true of Elden Ring.
Well, Elden Ring even now runs like crap on the handhelds. Even on the Legion Go 2 and the Xbox Ally X, like just runs like ass. Like it really does. It's not great. So I'll be really surprised if they've managed to tweak it enough for Switch 2. I mean, maybe that's why they need another year. That's why it's coming out in December.
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. It's got to come soon because, like you said, it was an announcement game. We are waiting right now, any minute now, for a new Direct, a Nintendo Direct, and it better be in that with a coming next week or whatever, you know. But the price seems a bit steep for me.
$80 full price game. No thanks. For something that's fairly old now.
It is, yeah.
That's the problem. It's a problem when we looked at the justification of PlayStation games on PC. The bit that was always hard to swallow with that is that people don't want to pay full price for a game that's 3 years old.
Exactly,
there's a psychological thing at play there. You're like,
yeah, I've
already waited. I don't want to pay full price.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll wait again.
If that was announced and it was $50,
50 pounds. I was just about to say 50. Then it's all good. Everyone's happy.
Absolutely, everyone's happy. Yeah. I think they made a massive faux pas by announcing it at the Switch 2 drop, showing it.
Yes. Well, they had to because it was a big, wow, look how powerful the Switch 2 is. Yeah. So I think it was a good move showing all this stuff like Cyberpunk. It was like, oh my God, Elden Ring, oh my God. You know, like all this.
I know that was our reaction.
Yeah. We're like, oh my God. So I think it was a good move putting it there. It's just real shame with whatever's happened that has caused it to be delayed so much. I'd say this is on Bandai, like totally their fault, not Nintendo's. They probably just can't get the game to run well because, like I said, it runs like crap on everything. So, like,
I'm quite tempted at some point. I might do it this weekend as a board kind of exercise. Is to go back through the Switch 2 announcement
and see what's actually come out.
See what's there. See what's actually come out. See if there's anything else that's hiding.
Not much. Yeah, Dustbloods, another one we heard nothing of. There's a bunch of stuff like that. Dustblood's a big one for me, like because
I do remember there being a few things that I've not seen.
Yeah,
not a lot, but there was a couple of moments.
Most of it has come out. Like Star Wars Outlaws was shown, Cyberpunk was shown, Prime 4 was shown, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Bonanza, like Pokemon, like those kind of things. I'm just literally looking at like game covers as I'm talking. But yeah, so
Dustbloods was definitely one that we've
Dustbloods is the big one, and it's kind of annoying because it's going to be like some weird multiplayer thing. So let's just wait and see what that's about. But I really hope they like say about it soon. Basically, I'm really eager on the next Direct because we're waiting on one, and there's nothing we're really waiting on other than like when's the release date for Elden Ring, you know, what's happening with Dustbloods, and what's the next big Nintendo game we're waiting on because we don't have one currently, you know. So
do you think it's going to be the Ocarina of Time remake that we see?
Well, according to Nate the Hate, I think it's Star Fox that's going to be like announced this month.
Wow.
So that means there's going to be a Direct this month.
Yeah.
There should be anyway because it's every quarter, isn't it? And we're in April now, so it makes sense. It'll be this month, then we'll have another Direct in June and so on and so forth. So I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. There were the two big rumours, weren't they, a couple of weeks ago? It was Ocarina of Time remake and a new Star Fox game. Yes. I think we talked about it last week.
We did, yeah.
But yeah, there has to, something has to happen. Is the Zelda anniversary year as well, the 40th anniversary. So some big things do need to come.
Yes.
How would you feel about the Ocarina of Time remake? Would you buy it?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would if it's a complete ground up like redone thing, not just like an HD remaster thing where you can turn on and off it. Like I wouldn't care for that because I've played it. But if it's a brand new like Switch 2 only, made ground up for Switch 2, not made for Switch 1 and then ported and whatever, like I'd get that. Yeah, definitely, because it would be really exciting to see what the Switch 2 could do. With that, like I think it'd be really cool if they reimagined the game but kept like the core things intact. I definitely would get that. Yeah,
a bit like the Final Fantasy VII remake, like how
absolutely
it's like a complete
that.
reimagining of the story and stuff.
Yes,
yeah, I'm with that. And for me, it's been long enough since playing that game that it would feel fresh again.
Yes,
like I remember playing it, enjoyed it, but it's not. I wasn't obsessed.
Yes, me too. Yeah, I wasn't an obsessive, like, because I didn't play it right at the beginning. I played it later on, and I played it before it was great, but that was as far as it was. Like when I didn't play it like 18,000 times like most people, you know, like so. But what I want is the same thing, but for Star Fox Adventures. Give me like a reimagining of that, like a new Switch 2 version of that. That would be
You're
winning.
So in the minority on that as well.
I know, I don't care. I love it. Make it just for me, Nintendo.
Yeah, just make it for him.
If not, I'm going to play the ROM.
Sure.
I own the disc.
That's a threat.
I own the disc.
That's fine.
It's fine.
Did you make the ROM yourself?
Yeah. I definitely have
why
a
not?
disc drive in my PC in 2026.
Yeah, no, you definitely do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I ripped
That's
that ROM
true.
10 years ago when PCs had discs.
That's
drives.
correct. You did. Yes. Yeah. And talking of ROMs, it's actually a really good segue to the final part. There's been a lot of movement in the kind of Android space for handhelds recently. Bob Wolf's been doing a lot of videos about it, and it's been a lot more. And typically it's all for emulation, so there's made no bones about it. They're emulating devices. Do you think they're going to make a play for being more mainstream?
I don't know, because they're all just phone attachment things, and I hate that. Like, I'm just not down for that. If you want to stream your PlayStation to your phone because you're like in a pinch or whatever, fine. Touchscreen controls, I'd rather chop my thumbs off than actually put my thumbs on a screen and be like spreading Dorito fingers all over it. Like, nah.
Yeah, there's some handhelds though that are running Android operating system.
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah. I don't know. But
they are just emulators.
They are just emulators.
Nothing else.
And they're kind of a pain in the ass because they are just phones. like when you're using them,
it thinks it's a phone.
It thinks it's a phone. I've played around with some in the past, and I was like, this is hideous. Like, I don't like this at all. Like, all of those emulator things just feel like so niche. There's a lot of headaches going on with them. There's like bugs everywhere. Like, some of them, granted, are quite good, and we've got some of them are playing PC games now. You know, there's whatever the hell that app is that's letting you basically run like PC games natively on an Android device. Like, it's interesting, and I like to watch from afar to see how it develops, but I am not interested in being the person that's tinkering around with that stuff.
Tinkering is the problem. You spend as much time tinkering as you do playing.
Yeah.
But apparently OnePlus is stepping into the Android space.
It's weird.
Android handhelds.
Yeah, OnePlus.
Yeah, there's a leaked image of the back of a OnePlus Android handheld. So that's a big manufacturer, a big phone manufacturer stepping in.
Yeah.
And I kind of think, like, if a phone manufacturer is stepping into the gaming space and making a handheld console of some kind, it's either going to be just for streaming, is their intention, or it has to be for legitimate gaming. There's no way OnePlus would step in to make an emulator.
Streaming.
Because it's so borderline grey area legally, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't imagine a big brand taking the risk.
It's going to be a streaming device, I swear. Like, well, I'm looking at the image right now. It's a phone with a grip on it. It's got cameras on it.
Yeah, I noticed the camera as well.
What? Like, there's just an attachment that goes around your phone. Like, or it will be their gaming phone. They'll be trying to do the Asus thing where they have like, look at this gaming phone because it's got an RGB light on it. Like, yeah, okay. Like, this one's going to be like, has grips and you can hold it up to your head like a Game Boy. Like, maybe it's built in. It's the gaming phone. Like, cool if that's what you're into. Like, I don't know. I'm like the old man in the corner. Like, give me the Game Boy or the PC handheld.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. Like the emulating space, we don't really touch a huge amount, and it's mainly because it's just not right yet. It's still not right yet.
No, it's just
not there.
More hassle than it's worth. Like, unless you're a super tinkerer and you love it and you want to crack like getting stuff working, that's fine. Like, I'm all down for that. PC's a little bit less of that in some respects. Like, there's a lot of faff, but there's also a lot of playtime, and everything's going to work. You know, like on the emulating side, or like just like those kind of handhelds, you're just sat there like problem solving, and that's basically it. And then once you've got a game running, you're like, cool, let's do another one. Like, you don't actually play the thing. It's just like, how many ROMs can I get to work? That's the game.
Do I need to download yet a different driver? Oh, this is the second one today that's been...
Why do I have LimeWire on it? Like,
why is my camera light on?
Why does my handheld have a camera? That's the question.
Why does my handheld have a camera? Yeah. But do you know what? I keep an eye on it all because I'm like, there's part of me that's like, well, this is interesting.
I'm glad you do, because I turn away from it. And one day it will be exciting, and there'll probably be stuff to discuss about it. But for me, that day's not come yet.
But I don't know what it is though. But when I see stuff like the Evercade Nexus that's coming,
yes,
I see that and I get way more excited.
Yes, because that is a handheld. Like, there's no faffery. You buy the game you want to play, and you play the game, and it's going to work.
You plug the cartridge in, and it works.
Yeah,
I'm there for it.
That's way more exciting to me. Yes.
And I get more excited with, like, I'll probably get shot down for this, but when I see, like, I don't know, like a Game Boy Advance that's been, like, super modded and it's got a new IPS screen in it and something, you're like, that looks cool.
I did. Yes.
Exactly that. I'll get the cartridges and plug them in because I'll just get the games I want to play and I'll play them natively.
Yes.
Have a great time.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to really like it. This is the problem. I want to really like the emulators. I don't have the time or energy to be spending tinkering. And with doing the channel as well, I get a bit nervous with like the grey area part
of it. Yeah, and to me, I mean, I've got a way nicer handheld with a way better screen, way more power. If I'm going to emulate, I'm going to do it on that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to do it on a OnePlus phone with a grip
even
on it.
Get a Steam Deck and just do it on that.
Yeah,
you know?
well,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
It's kind of like perfect for it. It's right there.
Especially the OLED.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So anyway, that's the final story. Is that apparently OnePlus are making some kind of handheld, but it's sketchy as hell and it's got a camera on the back.
It's going to be a phone with joysticks on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's basically they got a grip like a backbone and they just glued it to a OnePlus.
Yeah.
And, there you go. I'll do.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. I'd love to know what you guys think about it all, though. Let us know down in the comments down below. If you think also I'm the lazy manic that just laughs, double down on it.
Yeah, that's it.
Comments, that'd be great. Whilst you're down there, make sure you like the video. Subscribe for more handheld gaming content. What else can I do, Andy?
Become a member to see all the Will It Run videos of all those games we discussed earlier, like Replaced, Mouse PI for Hire, Pragmata. I remember the name for once. Wow. And also become a member and you get to chat to us over on our private Discord as well.
Yeah, I love it. All right. So until the next time.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.